The world is at a crossroads. With Donald Trump back in the White House, the global landscape is being reshaped. It's a landscape marked by economic, political, and military tensions that could trigger an unprecedented shift in modern history. The big question everyone's asking is this reshuffling the prelude to a large-scale conflict? Since his return to power, Trump has doubled down on his America First stance. His renewed tariff policy has sent shockwaves through America's main trading partners. Mexico and Canada, heavily reliant on trade with their northern neighbor, now face a crisis of uncertainty. In Mexico's case, its economy hangs in the balance, while tensions over migration have reached a boiling point. Trump has revived his mass deportation plan, sparking a wave of tension in Central America and the Caribbean. Meanwhile, Canada is trying to strike a diplomatic balance to protect its interests, but US protectionist measures are complicating regional stability. The continent faces growing fragmentation as countries try to diversify their markets and forge alliances outside of Washington's shadow. However, this transition is slow and complex, and there's no guarantee they can counter the effects of these policies. On the other side of the Atlantic, Europe remains an epicenter of tension. The war in Ukraine shows no signs of stopping, with Russia bolstering its military presence in the region. Recent strategic moves in the Black Sea have heightened the risk of confrontation, and the possibility of a direct conflict between NATO and Russia no longer seems so far-fetched. The European Union faces unprecedented pressure. On the one hand, it must act decisively to support Ukraine, but on the other, every move must be carefully calculated to avoid triggering a massive response from Russia. Economic sanctions have hurt Moscow, but Putin has shown he's willing to resist at any cost. Since his return, Trump has promised that his administration will seek to end the war in Ukraine. But his America First approach raises serious doubts about the US's real commitment to resolving the conflict. His strategy could redraw historical alliances and transform Washington's role in European politics. Chapter 3: Asia and the Pacific, a high-voltage chessboard. Meanwhile, in Asia, the Pacific has become a flashpoint. China continues to expand its economic and military influence, claiming strategic territories in the South China Sea and strengthening its alliance with Russia. The situation with Taiwan remains delicate, and any false move could trigger a confrontation with global consequences. Japan and South Korea, key US allies in the region, now face a double threat. On one hand, there's growing pressure from China, and on the other, the possibility of Trump cutting US military support, as he hinted at during his first term. Uncertainty reigns on this geopolitical chessboard. Every decision made in this part of the world could have a global impact, and the stakes are getting higher. Chapter 4: Bitcoin and the role of cryptocurrencies in this new landscape. Amidst all this global uncertainty, the cryptocurrency market is also entering a period of redefinition. Trump's return raises questions about how the United States will approach the regulation and adoption of digital assets. Some speculate that the country might try to turn Bitcoin into a strategic asset, while others fear a tightening of policies against cryptocurrencies. Market volatility has reached new heights, and Bitcoin's price movements could become a key indicator of global sentiment in the coming months. Will Bitcoin be seen as a safe haven in times of crisis, or will government measures put the brakes on its adoption? Chapter 5: Humanity on the brink of change. Today, the world is walking a tightrope. Every decision, every statement, every move has the potential to upset the global balance. We are witnessing a reshuffling of power that will shape the coming decades, but this reshuffling doesn't come without risks. Geopolitical, economic, and social tensions are reaching a boiling point, and the fear that this landscape will lead to larger-scale conflicts is not unfounded. In this context, the actions taken in the coming months will determine whether humanity manages to avoid a new era of confrontation, or whether, on the contrary, we are headed for an unprecedented escalation. Conclusion: the future is full of uncertainty, but also of opportunities. This is a decisive moment, not only for governments and world leaders, but for each and every one of us. The changes we are witnessing will not only affect politics and the economy, but also our lives, our environment, and our destiny as a global society. Are we ready for what's to come? Only time will tell.